But fundamentally, they're not learning a platform, they're learning how to create a picture and a story. So what are the rows? What are the columns? What's the question that I want to ask? What's the y-axis, x-axis? How am I going to figure out what the insight is? And so we talk about with students developing the what, the so what, and the now what of an insight. So you need a result, you have to interpret it, and then you need to be able to make a recommendation.
Welcome, Dr. Ethan Pugh, the director of the Master of Science in Marketing program and a clinical assistant professor at the McCombs School of Business at the University of Texas at Austin. Welcome. We're so happy to have you on a Bowtie Tuesday. How you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Absolutely. I'm really excited to talk to you today because you have been at the front end of a new program, a curriculum that the university has offered called the Masters of Science in Marketing program. Can you explain a little bit about what that program is?
Yeah, so the MS Marketing program is a 10-month master's program where students learn about marketing strategy, marketing analytics, how they fit together, developing dual brain marketers that are really able to see both sides.
Very interesting. And I know we have talked about the AI component of all of this and how that's changing the way people are working in the industry. Talk to me a little bit about how the program is bringing AI in or discussing it in terms of curriculum updates and changes.
Yeah, so the plan so far has been that AI gets embedded across the curriculum. We do have currently one course, AI in marketing, this really big umbrella AI where it's introduction to machine learning topics and thinking about some data mining and also custom tuning LLMs and some things that are really, sort of getting under the hood, not just the prompt engineering. The thinking back a couple of decades at this point, no one would have said, let's have an entire course on how to conduct a Google search. You would have lots of things you were thinking about in terms of, digital marketing and SEO and SEM, and that could be an entire strategy and analytics and data component that all fits together. But I think that we've seen a few shifts even in the past 6 months where we want to really give students skills around how to get the most out of these AI platforms. And to be entirely honest, the vocabulary and sort of thinking around this is still developing. So one concept that I've been meeting with faculty just this past week to talk through are sort of using AI for decision skills. So what is my problem? What data do I have? How can I build out sort of some test cases or try to see around some corners, but that it's focused on using your AI system, tool, whatever you prefer, to really think about how to do some interrogation types of things. There's a whole other skill set that might be relevant around workflows and thinking through how can I build some systems and start in these agentic models, doing some things that are going to be more sophisticated. But this is all very much emerging, and the sort of copy, paste, summarize types of things that students are already familiar with are still really great. But even if it's going to write the code for you, you need to be able to give it clear instructions that say, here's what I want my table to look like, or I want to perform this particular type of regression analysis using this set of variables, and I want to account for these components. And you can have more of a data conversation, but you still need to understand what all the mechanics are doing and have an intuition in order to do that, because otherwise you're just asking your AI platform to do the work and thinking for you. But that's where we really need to train students, is how to think so that they can get the most out of all of the tools that they're going to use.
Ethan, I'm so loving that response. And we've talked about this, but I'll just say from somebody in the industry who has been working in B2B marketing for a while and hiring a lot of people, there has been so much concern about AI taking away job opportunities. And the one thing I say, and you're echoing this, is AI in the hands of a smart marketer is so dangerous in a good way versus AI in the hands of somebody with no marketing experience. The quickness which you can create marketing slop alongside marketing value, it's just an instant trick. But you're helping prepare kids to create the value, and they can recognize the slop, and that is a skill that is still super necessary, and why it makes all the marketing hires super necessary in my opinion. So I'm grateful that you're echoing that. Gotcha. Okay. Another question, going back to the MSM program as a whole. What does the student experience look like in your program? At CampusIQ, we really care about student outcomes. So, beyond the classroom, how does the environment, the campus, the physical space factor into your curriculum design?
Yeah, so this is getting into sort of the like fun administrative side of recruiting. We, of course, are thinking about our pipeline and funnel for recruiting high quality students. The thing that we focus on from the MS programs as a whole is that we want to fill every cohort with high quality students, and we would fill up to whatever our room capacity is for the largest room on campus, because that's the point where we hit a limit that we're not able to add another seat because every seat is filled. When we're thinking about the recruiting side, the dean's office, of course, wants us to have as many students as possible, but there's a very clear focus on quality. The long-term reputation of McCombs and of the talent pool that we're developing is really the first thing that we're thinking about. On my side, I like to think about students as the product, and that all of our industry partners are the customers that want to come and source from the talent pool that we're developing. So there's lots of considerations around industry needs. In terms of one of your questions earlier for keeping things on the cutting edge, because it's a 10-month program, we're able to change the curriculum every single cycle. We don't have horizons of students that need to graduate because they finish in May, and we'll be able to make some updates. So we may have a couple of new AI courses or workshops or other things that are really flexible and filling all the spaces to give students lots of skills.
Excellent. Gosh, Ethan, it was wonderful to chat with you today, to learn about some of these great programs that are being created across the country, helping so many students get better prepared for the workforce as it's changing. One of the best lines I've heard in marketing with all the technology changes is like, it's March today, right? You don't want to be marketing like it's January because that's how fast it's moving, like 2 months behind. Thank you, Ethan, for the time today, and appreciate you being part of our Bowtie Tuesday.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is great.